Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel, or of course welcome to my channel if you're new. If you are new, then hello, lovely to meet you. My name is Alex, and if you are new here, make sure you stick around and subscribe. If you're not new and you've been here for a while, then why not make sure the notification bell is switched on just so you're notified of every single time that I upload. For today's video, I have a super exciting one because we are going to be testing out a brand new drugstore foundation. So this is by NYX Cosmetics. This is the Bear With Me Blurring Tint Foundation. Now, I watched Michaela Niguero's Get Ready With Me, where she incorporated this video into the video. She was like doing a full face of new stuff, and she said if you have like oily combination skin that you're really gonna love this, and that is exactly what I've got. So hopefully I am gonna enjoy this. It is also a blurring tint foundation, so I'm not expecting the coverage to be super full, but I thought we could do a first impressions on it, leave it on for a few hours, see how my oils cooperate with this as well, and yeah, let's test out a new drugstore foundation. So this is what the packaging looks like. It is very compact and travel friendly. It's in like a tube sort of style packaging. You do actually get 30 ml in here, so you are still getting the like average amount of foundation you would normally. So this foundation is £9.99 or a tenner, which I actually thought was really good for NYX. Some NYX products are super expensive, but I think a tenner is very good. So I just want to give you a rundown on the product details. So it says, achieve an instantly smooth and blurred complexion with our first blurring tint foundation, infused with skincare and actives for healthy looking skin, and 12-hour hydration. Okay, that scares me a little bit. Introducing effortlessly, no filter needed makeup results with a flawless matte blurring finish. And I think that's the main reason why I really wanted to try this foundation. Stay snatched with a boost of colour and tone that will leave you looking blurred but never dull. Treat your skin with this skincare infused formula, formulated with glycerin, matcha and niacinamide for visibly even, radiant and healthy looking skin. And it's available in 24 shades. So what I'm getting from this is it's supposed to blur and smooth your skin, be a bit hydrated, but also has a matte finish to it. I don't know, it sounds, you know, a little bit of me. So I got the shade Pale, which is the lightest shade. I really wanted Fair, but it was out of stock, and the third shade Long looked too dark and too pink, so I just decided to get Pale. I can use a lot of bronzer, that's totally fine. So let's do some skin prep. I'm just going to pop on some Bobbi Brown enriched face base. I have also got serums and moisturizer on underneath as well. My skin is quite dry at the moment, but I'm hoping all of this will keep me hydrated. Please ignore my hair today. I literally feel like Hagrid right now. I put it in like plaits overnight a few nights ago, and now I've brushed it out and it's just so bushy. For primer, I'm going to be using the NYX Marshmallow one. I actually haven't used this in a little while, and I love this. This is actually one of my favourite drugstore primers without fail. But so many primers come out in the market, and I'm just like, how do I keep up with it? And how do I use the ones I've already got? To apply this, I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Love Is The Foundation brush, because I feel like if I use a sponge, it's going to soak it all up. So I'm just going to pop some on the brush. Don't know if that's too much. Okay, so I've just applied this amount so far, just so you can kind of like see the difference between both sides of the skin. I'd definitely say that it has quite good coverage. I'd go as far to say that's a nice medium coverage. It's not super full, but I didn't expect it to be full coverage for like a sort of blurring tint foundation. I can definitely tell that this is kind of like a matte type of foundation. And I just have a feeling if you have dry skin, I don't know if you're gonna particularly love this, but let's apply it to the rest of my face. It's also got like a really nice thin texture to it. Like, it's not super thick, which I kind of expected it to be. Can we just talk about the color? Like, damn, I definitely need to bronze up the skin. And also, can I say, like, a little bit actually goes a long way. I feel like I've used equivalent to like 2 pumps, and it's pretty much covered my entire face. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my sponge and I'm just going to blend a little bit of this out, just where it's like a matte foundation, and I'm also using a brush. Sometimes it can be a little bit streaky. It's actually not bad though. It looks absolutely fine. Okay, so this is it all blended out on my skin here, and it actually feels really nice and lightweight. Like, it doesn't feel like I've got much product on my face right now at all. The only area I'd say I'm having problems is my nose, and that's because my nose is very dry at the moment. So if I just come up closer, and if it wants to focus at any given point, there we go. Can you see how it's like all clung to this dryness around here and not really covered the nose entirely? So yeah, I think if you've got dry skin, I'm sorry, this hair is absolutely atrocious. So if you've got dry skin, I don't think you're going to enjoy this foundation. If you've got like a normal to oily combination, I think you will quite enjoy it. I mean, I really like the coverage of this. It doesn't feel like much on the skin, but it's given me really, really good coverage, especially on my blemishes. So now what I want to test is I'm going to pop on some concealer and see if that marries well with the foundation, and see if we can cover the blemishes even more as well. Probably a bad idea putting that shade for spot conceal, because this foundation is so pale. I should have just used C1 throughout the whole thing. Okay, this is it with concealer on, and I definitely feel like it's brought a bit more life back into my skin. It is definitely more on the dry side, this foundation, but if I use like a hydrating concealer, for example, because this Revolution IRL one does have hyaluronic acid in it, then as you can see, it does help it look a lot more smoother. My nose is still looking dry, but that was to be expected. My nose was extremely dry beforehand, but the concealer has definitely helped bring a bit of hydration to it, and it does look a little bit more smooth. And as for the smooth claim of the blurting, I definitely agree. My skin does look very nice and smooth. I don't know if you can quite tell, maybe if I come up close, but can you see that my complexion does look really nice and smooth? It's not full coverage, it's definitely a medium coverage foundation. Definitely agree with those claims, and it does blur my skin, so I can't say it doesn't do what it says on the tin. It's a very nice blurring, medium coverage, slightly on the dry side of foundation, but that is because it does claim to have matte properties in it. So I think that looks really good on my skin. The only area it doesn't is my nose, because it's slightly on the dry side. I think I'm just going to pop some powder on, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like with powder over the top. Okay, so I'm back. I've popped on some loose powder and also some bronzer, because, you know, my face was looking very pale. So some things to know: you can still see my blemishes through the foundation. There is still a little bit of redness there. What I would do next time that I use this is spot conceal underneath the foundation. That is what I do normally, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to mess with the coverage of the foundation. I wanted to see it in its true form. Second thing to note is this foundation is definitely not going to work for dry skin. I'm really sorry, but my nose, I've had to save this, because before I had a patch here where it just wouldn't sit on top of it at all. Like, it still looks a little bit bad now, but trust me, I had to put a little bit more concealer on and then set that immediately before it kind of set in place, and it just looked awful. I had like a circle of red on my nose where it just didn't want to cling to where I had that dryness. So it's definitely not going to work for dry skin. But if we just like eliminate my nose, ignore the fact you can see a little bit of redness, my skin actually looks so smooth, and it actually feels really nice as well. It doesn't feel cakey, it doesn't feel heavy at all. It sat on my skin, barring my nose, it sat on my skin really lovely. So I can't wait for my nose to go back to normal so I can use this again. But yeah, apart from the nose area, I'm actually really impressed with how it looks on my skin. Like this side here where I don't really have much redness underneath my skin, it looks so smooth and good here. I really like this. This side is a bit, you know, but it's fine. The only thing is that I just hate how dry it looks on my nose. Okay, so the current time is 11:34. That's the time I'm gonna start this wear test portion of the video from, and I'm gonna leave it on for a few hours, see how quick my oils come through, that sort of thing, because it is a matte foundation, so I'd like to think it would last a little bit longer than usual. I'm gonna go film another YouTube video. I'm filming with the Revolution and Minnie Mouse collection. I've got a couple of TikToks to do, and then I'll check in with you after I've filmed the other content I've got to do. Okay, I'm balancing you on the like bathroom windowsill just so you can get some like natural light on what this is looking like. But this is what it's looking like so far. And by the way, the time is like just gone 2:30, so this has actually been on for 3 hours now and it still looks really good. Obviously I want to leave this on for like a couple more hours. I'm gonna get oily, obviously I always get oily, but the main thing for me is whether the foundation actually breaks up on the skin. And so far it's actually not. Still looks really, really nice and smooth. My oils are just peeking through just a tiny, tiny bit, but so far, so good. Okay, so I'm checking in for the final part of this wear test. I'm gonna have to remove the light, but that's what I'm using as a ring light. It's my phone torch. The current time is 17:36, as you can see. So this foundation has been on for around 6 hours or so. And if I just come up closely, as you can see, makeup is very oily. It is absolutely thriving right now. Like, look how shiny I am. But if you look at the actual makeup itself, right, all here is completely normal and still matte. It's literally just in my toilet zone, T-zone, that gets oily. The actual makeup itself, like, isn't disrupted. Like, it's just my oil sitting on top. Like, it doesn't look disrupted at all. Maybe like a little bit here on my nose, but guys, I've been eating. I might have like itched my nose a little bit. Like, I've been doing like normal things throughout today, and this is what it's looking like. So I'm really impressed. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take some powder. I'm gonna take my little mini Trigwell puff, and I'm just gonna take some Charlotte Tilbury, because I find pushing like pressed powder when you're oily works a treat. So I'm just gonna dab this on. Can you see the immediate difference that makes? It's creased a little bit in my nose crevices, but I mean, it always does that. Nothing new here. But can you just see how just that little bit of powder has brought my skin back to a matte base, which is what it was like when I first applied it. So despite my oils coming through a lot after 6 hours, I mean 6 hours is a long time for me to wear makeup anyway. I don't typically wear makeup for this amount of time, only when I have like long days out and things like that. But I'm genuinely impressed that just by adding a touch of powder, my makeup is able to go back to how it looks when I first applied it. So that to me really impresses me. Final thoughts, I really do like this foundation. It doesn't feel heavy at all on the skin. It's super lightweight, has very good coverage. I would definitely just do spot concealing before I put my foundation on. I love how smooth it looks on my skin. It definitely blurs like it says. Just for us oily people, take a powder out with you and top up just as you would throughout the day anyway, and your makeup will literally go back to how it looks. So I'm very impressed. Definitely though would not recommend for dry skin. It is way too drying unless you like fully exfoliate, serum, moisturizer in your like dry patches beforehand, then it might not cling to dryness. I am going to try that. on another time. But yeah, I think overall if you do have dry skin, I don't think you're going to enjoy this. But for me, I really like this Drugstore foundation. It's going to get a thumbs up from me. I definitely would recommend it if you've got similar skin type to me and no dryness. Let me know down below what you think of this foundation. I would love to know. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please let me know by smashing the thumbs up button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.